much sun exposure can you and should you get before it becomes dangerous? And where is the line between healthy exposure and dangerous exposure? I stumbled across this great article on theconversation.com called How Much Sun Can and Should I Get? Whenever I talk about my sun protection brand Sun Smock, which sells UPF 50 plus driving garments, there are always comments that talk about how important it is to get vitamin D and be out in the sun. And it's true, vitamin D is incredibly important, but there are smart ways to go about getting it. My partner, who's only 35, just recently had a liver transplant. People truly don't, I never knew the importance of your liver. Like, it does so much more than we think. He was told he had severe osteoporosis, and this is someone who is fit. Like, before he got really sick, he was always working out, always really fit. I'll insert pictures. Like, this is not someone you would think would have osteoporosis at 35. He was told to take supplements. When people say vitamin D is important, it's like, I know. So this article says that in summer, everybody except those with deeply pigmented skin can make enough vitamin D in just 5 minutes between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. anywhere in Australia, provided they are wearing shorts and a t-shirt. Let's look at this wonderful part of the website. It says time needed outdoors across the day in winter to meet the daily vitamin D requirement. I'm going to go with Perth because that's where I live. To get enough vitamin D in winter in Perth, this is with 10% of your body surface area exposed. You would need to be in the sun for 70 minutes between 7 and 8 a.m. to get enough vitamin D. You can see that it scoops down, and between basically 11 till 2, which are the high UV periods, you only need to spend 27 minutes. We've gone from 70 minutes when the UV index is low to 27 minutes. Now let's go to summer. Completely different story. Between 7 and 8 a.m., remember it was 70 minutes. In summer, it's 20 minutes. And look how wide the peak is for summer. Literally between 9 a.m. is so early, and 4 p.m., you only need to spend 5 minutes in the sun to meet the daily vitamin D requirement. Right now it's spring, so you can see that peak is slowly narrowing. It's now between basically 10 a.m. is when it's 5 minutes and 3 p.m. Go to winter, you can see how narrow that peak is, which means that there's a short window where the UV index is quite high. Then we go to autumn, it's widening, which means that the dangerous UV period is extended. And this is the really important part. Staying out for longer than needed doesn't necessarily make more vitamin D, but it does cause skin damage. There's a great section here as well for people with darker skin tones, and essentially it says that melanin, the brown pigment in the skin, absorbs UV photons before the dangerous stuff can happen, and the high melanin content in the darker skin tones provides 60 times as much UV protection as a small amount in very fair skin like mine. It's fascinating. It says that the flip side is the risk of vitamin D deficiency is much higher than the risk of skin cancer. So there is not some blanket rule that will apply to everyone. It also talks about there being 3 groups of people based on their risk of skin cancer with the different advice for each group. So the highest risk group, which would be me, people with pale skin that burn easily, me. Also people who might have olive skin who can tan easily but have extra skin cancer risk factors because they've had skin cancer before, family history of melanomas, had moles, or are taking immunosuppressant medications. My partner Reese is a great example of that last category because he has beautiful olive skin. Because he's on immunosuppressant medication, he has to be super careful when he's out in the sun, even though he has olive skin, because it does make you more susceptible to skin cancers. For these people, the harms of sun exposure almost certainly outweigh the benefits. That group of people, which does account for a lot of people, need to be really diligent about sun protection when the UV index is above 3, which in Australia is like from the moment you wake up, essentially. And you'll notice the first dot point is wear clothing covering as much of the body as possible. Sunscreen is super important and it will never not be important, especially for the face. UPF 50 plus sun protection clothing is the absolute gold standard because it won't fade, there are no missed spots, there are no reapplications. People don't really wear sunscreen as much as they should because they don't like how it feels, but they should both be used together. Wear a hat, seek shade, wear sunglasses. They shouldn't spend time outdoors deliberately to make vitamin D, but should discuss vitamin D supplements with their doctor. Thank you, I rest my case. I'm going to upload this video, and every time I get one of those comments, I'm just going to send them straight to that. I'm just going to link the video in the comment. I'll just save myself some time.